It's okay, I'll just stand behind the mic here. Thank you very much for allowing us to come. And it's not about to wrestle. But thank you for allowing us to come and just share my thoughts with you, to share where I stand. There are other candidates out there, just let you be aware. I know Mark Lynch, obviously, is running. Against Lindsey Graham, myself, and another gentleman named Patrick, and two other gentlemen that I've not actually met. I don't know a whole lot about them, so I'm not going to can't really tell you a whole lot about them. But I just wanted to share who I am tonight, if that's okay, and let you realize that there are other options. And I would love to be able to speak to you afterward to kind of share my heart, share my stance on things. But 4 months ago, I'm just a dad. I'm a father of 5, a husband to 1. I'm quote-unquote branded as a motivational storyteller. I travel all over the world, tell a bunch of silly stories. I don't know if you remember Jerry Clower years ago. A lot of those kind of just backcountry stories. That's right. Oh, those kind of things. But just a lot of silly stories. But stories, everything from true life adventures that I've had. Everything from sleeping in dumpsters in England to train stations in Czechoslovakia to riding in rodeos to breaking the Guinness World Record to walking through the Alps barefoot. So skinning skunks in spacesuits and lassoing wild beavers. A lot of just crazy, silly stories. But I've been truly blessed to travel all over the world. And I'm at a place in my life that I'm free. Quite frankly, I owe no one anything. I don't have any debt. There are no strings attached to me. I have nothing to prove, quite frankly. I love my life. I'm very content in my life. And for some odd reason, about 3 or 4 months ago, it kind of gave to a point where kind of a climax in my life of where I saw what's going on. I think we're all kind of frustrated with it from the federal government. We are $39 trillion in debt. There's a bit of a double standard in justice. Just the whole bureaucracy and how things are being stopped from people trying to make small business decisions. And I was just really frustrated with it. And my daughter, specifically, she was taking a government class. We have 5 children, and she was taking a government class. And we're just kind of talking about a few things. And I just happened, I was really getting frustrated. The more she told me about it, the more anxious I got. And I was like, Ellie, the federal government's just a cesspool. That's all it is, just a cesspool. And the moment I said it, I told this to an 18-year-old daughter, the moment I said it, my heart broke because I thought, I just called the greatest nation in the world a cesspool. In the history of mankind, there's never been a country like us. We are the freest, most amazing, and I've traveled to 48 some odd countries. I've been to countries where legit that you can feel it. You can feel the difference between freedom and oppression, right? I mean, it is amazing how free we are, and we are legit the greatest country in the world. And I made the mistake of calling it a cesspool, and it broke my heart. I think, why did I do that? And quite frankly, then I thought, well, Thomas, you're the biggest hypocrite in this room. All you do is talk. All you do is complain. All you do is fuss. Well, why don't you just get off your scrawny butt and actually go do something and actually act on the things that you want to be a part of? Again, I'm just a regular guy. I don't want to. People say, why did you enter so late? Well, I mean, why don't you do this years ago? Well, because I don't want to be a senator. I never wanted to be. It never crossed my mind to become a senator. I don't want to be a politician. I have no desire to make that a long-term deal. I fully believe in term limits. At one time, I was thinking maybe 2 terms, maybe 3. The more I think now, why not just 1? I mean, 6 years is a long time for someone to be in this race. But kind of a summation of really how I feel about things is, again, very similar situation. We live out in the middle of nowhere. We had a septic tank. Septic tank kept breaking over and over again. I kept hiring all these professionals to come in and fix the septic tank. Fix it, break. Fix it, or break. And eventually, though, I kept thinking, surely, it is not this complicated. I mean, it's just common sense would tell me it literally is a pump and some PVC pipes, maybe a check valve and a ball valve. But it's not that complicated. And I've always had the mindset of, if another human being can do it, then so can I. I can figure it out. So ultimately, my septic tank kept breaking. I climbed down my septic tank, used my common sense, I fixed it, and I got out of there. And that's really kind of how I want to do with the federal government. What can I do to get in the septic tank, fix a problem, and then get out of there? Again, there's no desire, there's no benefit. Again, there's nothing that I can gain from this position that I don't already abundantly have. I truly just, what can I do to fix the problem and get out? And again, I'm able to do this because I am free. And I don't mean that in a braggadocious way. It's just, I've worked hard. My wife and I are both entrepreneurs. Again, I'm a youth pastor / youth worker / volunteer / I'm a farmer. I'm a teacher. I teach chemistry on the side. And we're very busy. We do a lot of stuff. But we're very wise with our money, try to be anyway. but I'm free. And I want the United States to be free. I want South Carolina to be free. And so that's kind of my platform. It's FREE. F stands for being fiscally responsible. We're $39 trillion in debt. I don't think we understand really how big $1 trillion is. It's hard for us to even understand $1 billion, but you realize you can't even spend $1 billion in a lifetime. If you spend $100,000 every day, you still cannot spend $1 billion. But with $39 trillion in debt, if you divide 39 trillion divided by 350 million, every single person in this room, from womb to tomb, now owes $111,248 each. Every one of us in this room owes that money now. And so choices are being made for us without our control by bureaucracy, people that federal government is spending money they don't have to try to solve problems they have no business trying to solve. And so F stands for fiscal responsibility. We have to get control of our budget. So we have not balanced our budget since 2001. What other job, what other kind of employee can you hire? Say, I want you to do this job, and you realize by law they have to pass 12 bills every year, and they've not done this since 2001. But what other job can you hire a consultant or hire an employee? Say, I want you to do this job, then they come back a month later and go, how is it? And they've not done it. And then come back and 2 months later, they still haven't done it. And now 25 years later, they still haven't done their job. And so we have to have a balanced budget. We have to get control of our spending. So F, fiscal responsibility. R, restore law and order. We have to have border control. We don't have control of our borders, and we have no nation at all. It's no different than my little farm. I have fences around my farm for a reason, because we have to have sovereignty over our property. We have to have data sovereignty. We have to have who are we as a nation if we don't have a border and control of our borders? We have to restore our borders. We have to restore our voter integrity. If we can't vote, if we can't trust our votes, then what's the point? We have no republic. R also stands for two more things of common sense. People have asked me so many different questions, and oftentimes think of it as a Christian, what would I say? As a father, what would I say? As a husband, what would I say? As a neighbor, what would I say? And I found that most answers can be found by just common sense, just regular old, just use your brain, common sense stuff. And I think almost 80% of people there in Washington are lawyers. And so again, nothing wrong with lawyers. Can we please just get back to just common sense things? And again, I did a lot of research at the very beginning of this, and I did search other candidates, and I felt like no one represented me. Just a common family, just a regular old middle-class guy. I'm not a politician, I'm not a multimillionaire, but I feel like no one represented me, and that's why always I'm in this race. But restore common sense and restore civility. We've kind of lost that ability. Can we please just look each other in the eye and have a conversation? If we disagree with each other, fine. But we've kind of lost that civility in this life. I know it's a bell curve. There's people on both ends of it that are kind of just whacked out. But for the most part, people just look at me, not what you see. People want to be, have the same kind of fears, same anxieties. People just want to have a family and work and go home for the weekend and have a good time. But I really do truly just want to restore civility. 2 parts of E, I'll get out of your hair. E also stands for encourage economic growth. Encourage, empower, equip economic growth. The American dream is to create a service, a product, a gadget, a widget, and make a profit, right? And to serve yourself as well as serve your community. Do you realize that in South Carolina, there's 82,000 restrictions and regulations prohibiting people from starting small business? 82,000. And as in regard to the federal government, there's 1.3 million restrictions and regulations. In there's a book, it's 188,000 pages. 188,000 pages specifically donated or specifically designated for to stopping or rules that you have to apply as small businesses. 188,000 pages. How would anyone ever want to start a small business doing that? So from a state-wise, from senator-wise, people often say, well, I will go to the Senate and House of Representatives and I want to create laws, so that's my job. As far as I'm concerned, I want to eliminate laws. What can we do to eliminate that? And so, well, thank you for that blog. I genuinely agree. I love what's going on. There's an act called the REINS Act, and they're pushing through. They're basically saying that every rule or policy you place, every one policy you put in place, you have to eliminate 2. So I love that. I love that idea. How can we not get rid of the federal government? We certainly have a place for it. We need a military, we need infrastructure. But again, the federal government is spending way more money than they have to try to solve problems they have no business trying to solve. So what can we do to help empower the American dream? People have dreams and passions and God-given abilities and talents, and we're held back from trying to accomplish those things. What can I do as a United States Senator, as just a regular citizen senator, to help people do that? The last part of E, I've kind of touched on it several times already, but end government overreach. It's no different than a septic tank. It is overflowing, and when it's overflowing into our lives, and it's ruining things, it's polluting things around us, because it's the overreach of the federal government. And quite frankly, it's my fault. And it's your fault too, right? I mean, we have gotten the government that we have deserved, that we have earned, and I'm tired of talking about it. So that's where I am. I'm just a regular guy, a regular husband, a regular dad. That just, I have nothing to prove. There are no strings attached to me. I don't even ask for money. If you want to give me money to donate, I'm not going to steal your blessing. My mother always said, don't steal my blessing, Thomas. And so, I'm being very serious about that. She tried to give me money one day. I was like, Mom, I don't want your money. And she's like, Thomas, don't you ever steal my blessing. So if you want to give to a campaign, sure. But I'm not asking for people for money. I would much rather you vote for me because you want to vote for me, not because you're against someone else. You know what I'm saying? And your voice is far more powerful to me than anything you could ever give me dollar-wise. I genuinely just want to serve you. My heart is to serve. It's been my life is serving people all my life, and this is just part of it. So, people say, why are you going to the United States Senate? Why not do locally stuff? Well, the great American philosopher, Deputy Barney Fife, said, right. What did he say? He said, nip it in the bud. He always said, right? And so that's kind of what I want to do. I want to nip it in the bud, and that if we don't fix Washington, but frankly, it doesn't matter what's going on in South Carolina. It will mean nothing. We have to stop what's going on in Washington first. We have to get control of it. Waste, fraud, and abuse, and all those wonderful words we're trying to say is out. But what I will not do is lie to you. I will not tell you. I will not give you all these random little promises that I cannot keep. Is there a difference between me, Lindsey Graham, and Mark Lynch? Absolutely. I'm not going to knock them personally. That's just not the way I roll. But I will happily discuss with you policies that's different between us, and I want you to decide. I just want to be open and honest. Say, this is how I feel. This is what I stand for, and I'll let you decide. That's all I want you to do. Just be open and honest and hear my voice. And I would love to earn your trust in the process. So I won't talk anymore, but thank you so much for your time. Again, if you have any questions, comments, or snide remarks, I'm always back in the back. You are always welcome to come. And in my ignorance of running, they asked for a campaign phone number. And I didn't know what I was doing, so I gave them my cell phone number. So if you actually can look up, everyone in the world now has my cell phone number. I may burn it next year, but you have full access to me, and I'm being genuine. If you call me, I will answer. If I don't answer, it's because I'm on the line with someone else. But I genuinely just want to hear your voice, and I want to serve you for the United States Senate. And I love that opportunity. So thank you guys. Appreciate it.